President Trump signs the Genius Act into law. Republicans take a victory lap. You also have some new information. Is RLUSD the highest rated stablecoin in all of the entire world? There's some new data and information that you have to take a look at. We also have some information about Tether trying to get around these new laws by creating a new company and a new stablecoin. Say it ain't so. We're going to get into all this, guys. Let's go ahead and see what's happening here at the signing. Unbelievable. So you have the Winklevoss twin here sneaking in. You have Brian Armstrong, Coinbase CEO, sneaking in here. This is Tom Emmer. He's the majority whip in the House. He helped get the votes together, as well as he's pushed a lot of this legislation. French Hill's here. This is Bill Haggerty. This is the vice president. This is the crypto czar, David Sachs, Howard Lutnick. This is the Speaker of the House. And I don't know this French Hill. I don't know who this gentleman is right here, but you can see them, all of these people put a lot of hard work into getting this across. Not too sure about Brian Armstrong and the Winklevoss twin up here, but all good. They're signing this. Let's just fast forward this.
But it is one of the great. Thank you very much, everybody.
Here you go. There's Jeremy Allaire here. Bo Hines. We need more women. Why don't you guys invite women to be in the photo? I don't understand. They're you could bring Kathy Wood or some of these other people here. I just don't understand why it's got to be, 30 dudes on the stage. But hey, congratulations. There's Jeremy Allaire saying thank you. This is the gentleman from Chainlink, the CEO. Can't remember his name. I do apologize. But a lot of people came to this event. Is very, very important. You also had Stuart Alderati and a few other people here joining in the festivities. Sad, I didn't see Brad Garlinghouse or I guess Chris Larson wouldn't be there, right? But let me play this. So this is the Treasurer of the United States, Scott Bessent, talking about the Genius Act. Historic, and will pave the way for U.S. to lead the global digital currency revolution. Let's play it.
Today marks a seminal moment for digital assets and global dollar dominance, with President Trump signing the Genius Act into law. This bill provides the fast-growing stablecoin market with the regulatory clarity it needs to grow into a trillion-dollar industry. Stablecoins represent a revolution in digital finance. The dollar now has an internet-native payment rail that is fast, frictionless, and free of middlemen. This groundbreaking technology will buttress the dollar status as a global reserve currency, expand access to the dollar economy for billions across the globe, and lead to a surge in demand for U.S. treasuries, which back stablecoins. The Genius Act is a win-win-win for everyone involved. Stablecoin users, stablecoin issuers, and the U.S. Treasury Department. I want to thank President Trump for his visionary leadership in shepherding this bill into law and Congress for rapidly advancing this critical legislation. By expanding financial freedom and reinforcing dollar dominance, stablecoins will play a critical role in making America great again.
This is how you knew this was going to get across, right? The U.S. needs a new buyer of U.S. debt, and stablecoin issuers are the perfect group of new companies or institutions that will give the new demand for the dollar. And that's what has been kind of waning recently. So here is some new information. Built for enterprise use cases, RLUSD delivers the security, compliance, and scale global businesses demand. And so here is this new rating from Blue Chip. The highest rated stablecoin on Blue Chip has never changed, but today RLUSD becomes the #1 ranked stablecoin. Suspenseful, right? Talks about where the reserves are, just information we already know, right? But this is actually pretty cool. I did see something that Tether, where is Tether on this list? I thought I had it. Yeah, here it is. Check this out. So here is Ripple, RLUSD with an A, followed by Liquidity LUSD. Gemini is an A, Pax Gold is an A, PayPal is an A-, Mountain Protocol A-, Pax Dollar A-, Cetus, you have USDC a B+, and Tether is of course a D, rated D for probably don't touch, right? And this is really cool to see. I wanted to take a look at who Blue Chip was. Blue Chip's latest stablecoin report confirmed RLUSD has passed Tether, USDC, and a few others as the top stablecoin. They talks about independence. Of course, Blue Chip operates as an independent nonprofit agency dedicated to public assessment of stablecoin safety and reliability. So that is really cool to know. And I just wanted to get a little bit more information on who Blue Chip was. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but if you want to read it here, I brought it up on the screen, so you definitely could if you wanted to take in that information. But looking at the growth and where we are for RLUSD, we have 527 million tokens minted. The volume on this yesterday was around 2 billion. Today on Friday, it's about 1.31 billion. And of course, I wanted to take a look at how the growth has been going and what are we looking at. So here's some current data. Of course, the price, the market cap, circulating supply, 24-hour trading volume, 1.47 billion. Growth rating among the most trusted stablecoins backed by BNY Mellon and recognized for regulatory compliance. Talks a little bit more current supply in 6 months. Of course, the growth of the market cap, 27% increase in 6 months. Growth in supply, 16% in 6 months. Here is the monthly growth rating at 3.5%, monthly supply minting and growth at 2.1%. I do expect this to start now ticking up now that regulation has been passed. Understand that even though the bill was signed into law today, it doesn't go into effect for quite some time. It could be 6 or 12 months or even 18 months. There is a situation where the Treasurer of the United States could step in to fast track this legislation, get it done before the end of the year. I will update you once I have more information on that. I did want to pull up some data here. 10 million RLUSD minted the treasury as of today, new 10 million. Of course, Ripple's stablecoin empire is growing. They recently applied for some new licensing in Luxembourg to join the European Union. In April, Ripple incorporated in Luxembourg to support EU expansion, especially RLUSD. A rep told Ledger Insights, we intend to become MiCA compliant. As many sites reported, MiCA compliance would open across Ripple to 30 European Union countries. Note, BNY Mellon also operates in these regions. And so here's just a little bit more information. Stablecoins, European EMT licensed firms. And this is kind of how many are licensed so far in these specific countries. Okay, let's see here. Analysts consensus RLUSD is widely expected to reach over 1 billion in total circulating supply by early 2026. Minting pace, monthly minting varied between 10 and 50 million RLUSD with strong upward trend during regulatory milestone and exchange listings. Estimated end of the year by 2025 is supposed to be around 800 million to 1 billion. So that just gives you an idea of where the forecasts look right now, about 800 million to 1 billion total RLUSD minted. So here is the new information. Chad Steingraber posted this. Tether isn't going away. They will use another stablecoin designed specifically for US entry that will follow the Genius Law. Most likely the dominant chain will be on Tron. So it's interesting that, Justin Sun of Tron, basically being investigated for fraud. And, you have Tether, who's always had some issues around them actually providing, an audit for their one-to-one backing. So it's just like, what is the saying? Two feathers flock together, something like that. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you're doing some shady shit. I'm doing some shady stuff. Let's get together and let's launch a stablecoin in the US. That's what it feels like to me. I don't mean to be rude, but I just don't understand how you can have a company that's operated for 11 years, the biggest stablecoin company in the world, and they have not made it a priority to actually show they have to one-to-one backing. Now they can just create a new company and, a new stablecoin for the US market, even though they basically stuck their middle finger at regulators for years. It's a sour taste in my mouth. I just don't like it, but let's get to this. Here's some information on this. Okay. So what is Tether going to do here? So even if Tether opens another company, they would need to follow the strict guidelines here. Regulatory framework for payment stablecoins. The act provides clear rules for issuing payment stablecoins, which are digital asset backed with low risk like cash or US treasuries. Issuer eligibility and certification. Only permitted payment stablecoin issuers can legally issue stablecoins in the US. These issuers must be US based entities approved by regulators or registered foreign issuers under a comparable regulatory framework. So this is where I start to wonder, how's Tether going to get around this? It probably won't even be connected to them in some way. It'll probably have to be a solely different company, and maybe they'll have to have different, owners or hide that some way because, at the current the current status of where Tether is, they wouldn't be allowed to operate in the United States, but there are some things they could probably get around here. They're still going to have like bank subsidiaries, federally approved non-banks or OCC chartered uninsured banks, state chartered issuers approved by state regulators. Tether would need to qualify as one of these permitted issuers or comply with similar standards to remain in the market. You know, I will get some more information on this, guys, and give you everything that I find, but I just wanted to add this to this video. If you didn't know this was happening, Tether is trying to find a way back. So also here, and like personally, Tether is one of the biggest buyers of US treasuries, regardless if they're breaking laws or not. I could see, you know, some people looking the other way in the government, right? I think there's been a lot of cases that were dropped in the crypto space over the last 6 months. Some of the stuff you're like, why was that dropped? I think they're going to get around it personally, but we'll see. Stablecoins on the launch on the XRPL. I just wanted to cover this before I let you go here today. There is more than just RLUSD. Of course, USDC is now in the XRP ledger. You have the EUROP Euro by Schumann Financial. You have XSGD, a Singapore dollar on Straits X on the XRP ledger. And you also have USDB from the Browser Group. There's also several other stablecoins that were launched. And I do think over the next 6 to 12 months, you're going to see dozens more launched by great institutional players, all on the XRP ledger using XRP as the gas token. Listen, guys, I probably won't make too much content over the next, 1 or 2 days. I just been fighting the flu. As you can hear, I'm really sick, but I wanted to get this update out for you. So come out on Saturday. Appreciate you. I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you so much for being here. Aloha. Nothing in this video should be taken as financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. I am not a financial advisor. Please seek financial advice if you need it. Let's get back to the video.